Welcome everyone. In this video, I will walk you through of the exact step-by-step process I follow to create dashboards for my clients and myself to help our decision-making process and back it up upon data. So for the sake of this video, we will create a dashboard like this, and we will import the data from Google Analytics 4. Mind you that this tool allows us to import data from many different sources, and it also allows us to blend all those data so that we better understand what happens in our business and back our decision-making process. So to begin with, this is the end goal, but we will try to build this up from the ground up. So for the sake of that video, again, I have created a new blank board, and we will try to build everything in here. So follow me and stick around until the end of that video. So we will create a new page for the sake of the video. Now, the first thing that we want to do is to import our data. So in this way, we let Looker Studio know from where we want this to pull our data from. And for this instance, we will do that from Google Analytics. Again, I'm using something that you all guys can have access to, and this is Google Analytics for Google Merch Shop, which is, let's say, an open source e-commerce. You can also have access by clicking the link in the description. Okay. The only thing I will do is that we will take this icon and this text from the first page and paste that to the second page. Cool. First of all, let's give it a descriptive name. This will be the items sold per source medium. Okay, this helps us better understand what we see in the data. Cool. And after we have imported the data source, we need to give the tool a date dimension that says when do you want to filter, which date do you want to filter this data from. And we can do that by clicking the add control and date range control. I like to import it on the top right corner of my dashboard, so I have this always available. And for the sake of this video, again, let's give it a background color. Okay. Also, if you want to have multiple pages and you don't want to do this again and again and again, the only thing you have to do is to make this report level. So right click on the asset and click make report level. Now, when you add new pages, you will always find it in the exact same position as this one. Okay, so what do we want? We want a table, and we want a table with a heat map. So when it sorts the data, it tells us visually where the data is based on the amounts. So over here, what we want to do is to add our dimensions. So again, for the sake of this video, the dimensions will be the session source /medium. Oh, needs space. over here, session source / medium, and the second dimension would be the item name. Okay. Now delete the metric that is automatically populated and add your own, which will be total purchasers. This is something that I have built a couple of days ago for one of my clients, and it's fairly easy, but it helps us understand where most purchases came from for a specific item that we decided to launch in a specific date. So, for example, we had 4 different main core sources leading to the product page, and we wanted to identify what was the main source of traffic to that product page. So instead of doing this natively in Google Analytics, we did that in Looker Studio because it helps us better visualize and identify the key metrics that we want to track. So as a second metric, what did we add? We added total purchasers. Okay, we want to add the item revenue. Item revenue. Okay. Sorry. And I'm sorry. And we want to style this. But before we style this, let me sort this based on total purchasers. Okay, so we click in sort, and we want to sort the table to be sorted based on total purchasers. So now you see why we used heatmap. Tells us right away where the data comes from. Okay. So to better visualize that, let's make the header background transparent and think we are good to go. Let me add a background behind that to make it pop. Send it back. Cool. Okay, now what we want to do is to give it a name, and let's call this items sold per source. Cool. Now let's duplicate the background and copy and paste it. Control C, Control V, or Command C, Command V on Mac. And over here we want to add a line chart. The line chart helps us identify spikes across a certain date. So to do that, we add a chart and we go under time series charts and we click on time series chart. There is a lot of ways to style this and make it better serve you, but we will use the basic version for now. And what we want to do is, you see that the dimension is automatically added because it's a time series chart and the dimension is date. So we want to add a second metric over here that tells us the item revenue. If you have tried to do this in Google Analytics, it's not that easy, and you see here that it's just a drag and drop basically procedure. Okay, now what is left to do is to add a filter for us to instantly filter out the values that we don't want to include in our charts and the tables. So to do that, we go under Add a Control and a drop-down list like this. Cool. Again, let's give it a background color like that. Cool. The dimension that we want is item name. Cool. And now we want to duplicate this, copy and paste so that we filter out the session source. Essentially, you can add whatever you like and whatever better serves your case, but in this case we want to build it fairly easy and fairly simple. So what we did is we added, let me view this. Cool. What we did is we added a specific date in here, and let's make it like past month or so, at least up until now, because it's the end of June in a few days from now. And we want to filter out the only, for example, the purchases and items that were completed via a session, a paid source session, which is Google CPC, for example. So we click that only button and it filters out all the data. Okay, at least for now, I don't want to overcomplicate the setup, so I will leave you with this. It took us, 10 minutes to build this from the ground up, and this was fairly easy. So instead of trying to figure out what moves your business forward, I recommend that you should consider a way similar to this. See you in the next one.